Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music.
What's goody gang? It's your boy RB3 here for another review for First Cut. This time I'm back to review the new David O. Russell film Amsterdam, starring Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Rami Malek, Taylor Swift, Chris Rock. The cast list can go on and on forever. Anna Taylor-Joy. There's literally so many people in this movie, and there's so much to talk about. Actually, I don't know if there's much to talk about. I'll be real with y'all. I don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna keep this review a little bit short, and I'm gonna just keep it real. This was not it. This is not a good movie. This is a bad movie. Now, Amsterdam is a film that's set in the 1930s. It follows these three friends, the aforementioned Christian Bale, John David Washington, Margot Robbie. They witness some sort of murder and mystery that kind of happens, and they end up going on a run trying to uncover the mystery to clear their names, and it ends up becoming a bigger plot that extends to, the U.S. government and stuff like that. And apparently this is true on this is based on a mostly true story. I mean, they say at the beginning a lot of this really happened. I don't know how much of this really happened, but during the end credits, they show some little video footage of, I guess, who were the real people represented. Also Robert De Niro in this film as well. But yeah, This wasn't it, man. This was a bad film. I could see, I think the Rotten Tomatoes score is in the 30s. I could definitely see why. Everything about it was bad. The acting was bad. The direction was bad. The writing was terrible. And, this is from somebody who likes most of David O. Russell's movies. I'm a fan of Silver Linings Playbook. American Hustle is cool. I Heart Huckleberries is always a classic. Of course, he has his own kind of reputation of how he has his on-set behavior, but even taking all that into account, not even thinking about, the personal business of what's going on with a lot of these actors and crew and whatnot, it's just a badly put together movie in terms of execution. The editing is atrocious. There's multiple times where there's characters just living in a single shot. We're just kind of back and forth between single and single. We never really see a lot of these characters in the same room together, in the same environment together. We never really have any sort of spatial relationship with the characters that we're going for here. And in terms of the direction, they used this really and the cinematography, they use a really short lens that kind of gives a very wide sensibility, a lot of low angles. So it's shot in a very interesting way, but it doesn't fit remotely with the tone or the time period that they're telling the story in. So that was weird. And the writing itself was wordy, repetitive, at many times nonsensical. And when you have writing and dialogue that's that bad, a lot of it's this corny 1930s overwritten oh, marketing blah 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 blah. I can't even do a good impression of anything that came out of this movie because a lot of it was just so unmemorable. The only memorable parts really came from Chris Rock, who stood out as this tiny supporting character who was part of Christian Bale's battalion during World War I. And by the way, that's how Christian Bale knows a lot of John David Washington, Chris Rock during that time period, is because in his backstory, they show during World War I, he was the commander for this all black battalion during this time period. And that kind of takes me to what Christian Bale's performance kind of is. He is this wacky medical doctor who suffered a lot of injuries during the war and ends up trying to help fix people. As a result, during the times of the 1930s, fixing people, war-torn people usually meant giving them heroin or giving them some sort of pain reliever. So his character is often this really drugged up, has a really crooked back because of his injuries, and just a really funny character. And he's also the other memorable part. I would say Chris Rock is memorable as a supporting character, and also Christian Bale is the one redeeming, shining light across this entire movie. He gives the best kind of performance he could give in this type of role, especially when especially when all the other actors are literally struggling with their dialogue. He is able to stand out. Shout out my man, John David Washington. I love him. I'm a big fan of him. I love Tenet. I love seeing him in Black Klansman. I love Ballers, that TV show on HBO Max. Everything this dude touches, I'm a big fan of, but this was not the performance for him. And again, I think it comes down to the direction. I think the direction and the writing, when the dialogue is that bad, and, when you have a director that's not really directing you on how to deliver that dialogue or changing up that dialogue in a way that fits for the actor's persona or the actor's speech, it just doesn't work. Margot Robbie is fine, and literally everybody else in this movie is just fine. Again, the only memorable parts were Christian Bale, Chris Rock. There's a couple of side police characters, 2 police characters that are kind of funny whenever they come into the dynamic. And also there's one scene in the beginning that kind of sets off the inciting incident. I'm not going to spoil too much about it, with Taylor Swift. That is absolutely hilarious. That scene is funny. So I will give them that. Like that scene is funny. The kickoff to the plot is funny. And certain characters like Christian Bale, again, he's the lead, so I guess it's a big compliment saying that he was good. But when everybody else is like subpar / bad, it's not the greatest. Again, Chris Rock was good. The 2 police characters are good. Timothy Olyphant also plays like this kind of bad guy character. Again, he's so good in a lot of other things, and this is just not the role for him. He's just giving like this evil, mean looking face throughout the entire time. Not really much dimension to it. So I don't know. This is probably close to, if not one of the worst movies of the year. And I think, if you like these people, I'll probably say skip this movie because you don't want to see them embarrassing themselves. I love, again, people like Rami Malek, people like Anna Taylor-Joy, people like Timothy Olyphant, people like Chris Rock, John David Washington, all talented actors, Margot Robbie, all great. But the lines that they were given and the parts that they were given to play were not satisfactory, not exemplary, was subpar, mediocre, and everything that was bad. Even at the end credits, they give like they made this big deal about, oh, Drake wrote a song for like the end credits. He's like the executive producer and he wrote a song. Yo, he's not even singing the song. It's Giveon singing the song, and it's just Drake. He just apparently wrote it. Which, have you heard of Drake writing anything? All right, that's a whole separate conversation. Anyway. Let me know if y'all are planning on checking out Amsterdam this weekend. Let me know what you think. Again, I would say skip, but if you're into like this like kind of caper noir, like kind of noir mystery, maybe you could check it out. Maybe you have some fun with it. I would say like the first 2 acts are atrocious and the 3rd act is like somewhat decent. So then by the time you get to the 3rd act, it's like a little bit better. But it's like who's the tallest kid in the kindergarten when it's coming to the structure of this movie. So not good. Totally. I don't know if I shout out Robert De Niro before. He's also in this movie. Again, all unmemorable. You would probably have more fun reading a Google synopsis about this movie than actually watching it. That's all for my review for Amsterdam. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. And if you're into this kind of movie, if you like overwritten, messily edited, weirdly pasted films, let me know. And no judgment here. If you saw a movie like Amsterdam and you really loved it, and you really liked it, I mean, it's a fun movie to kind of laugh at, but in some ways it's kind of not, because David O. Russell's such a good filmmaker, and a lot of these people are so talented that you're like, why are you wasting your time with this? So anyway, that's all I got on Amsterdam. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe to First Cut. Check out our TikTok, First Cut TMO. Andres is killing it over there. We got more videos coming up, more reviews. So that's all I got, y'all. Peace and Middle East. It's your boy RB3. See you soon.